Today's draft, we're going to have some fun. I got my golf shirt on just for this. We are going to do a draft of the NFL personalities for whom we'd like to caddy. Chris gets the trivia question. If he gets it right, he gets the first pick. And here we go. Chris, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning met 17 times during their career. That is regular season and playoffs combined. Which of them won more games against each other in the playoffs, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady?
Ooh, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
You are correct. Trick question, because I would have said Brady. I assumed Brady. Peyton was 3-2. 3-2 Peyton. Regular season, Brady was 9-3, but in the postseason, Peyton was 3-2. Cuts against that narrative that Brady wins when it counts the most and Peyton chokes when it counts the most. 3-2 against Brady in the postseason. I don't know that Sunday makes it 4-2. Sunday doesn't count. All right, who would you like to caddy for? You get the first pick.
Well, somebody that kind of like is close to home for me, all right? And it's just, I've only heard a few stories, but I'd like to hear all the stories at some point. I'm going to go with Lawrence Taylor. I mean, Lawrence Taylor is famous for his – yeah. First off, he used to stop by our house and steal my dad's golf clothes, right, on the way to the golf club. So
at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m., he might have been out all night. He'd call the house. That's a very famous story in the Simms household. Happened probably about 2 or 3 times in like a 2-year period. But either way, just whether the stories I've heard about my dad, when you do play with him, of course, you're going to have some fun, smoke some cigars, have a few drinks. The conversations be crazy. He might throw a golf club or two into the woods. He might break them over his leg every now and then. You're going to get everything. Who knows? Michael Jordan might come play too. They went to North Carolina, so you never know the type of crowd you might get in your foursome. But Lawrence Taylor would be my first pick, as for all the reasons you can speculate. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, and it's a big, strong human being crushing a little white ball.
Yeah, speaking of little white substances, he's got more than cigars in that bag, potentially, but that's a different story altogether. He'd have been my first pick. Without question, he'd have been my first pick. I was rooting so hard you were going to screw that question up. Oh, my gosh, it would have been spectacular. It would have been great. And now it's wide open. You can go so many different ways. I'll go Bill Belichick. I want to caddy for Bill Belichick. I just want to be around the guy. I want to be in the presence of greatness, all-time greatness. If a little bit of it rubs off on me, so be it. And, and at times, if he doesn't want to converse much, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, Bill. It'd just be an experience to be around, to watch how he operates, see how he thinks, glean anything you can from just being around the master, because I'm sure he applies the same brain power to golf that he applies to football. We know he golfs a good deal. So, yeah, I'd be more than happy to carry the bag. I would be scared to death anytime he would ask me any questions about what club he should use. My response would be whichever club you want to use, and I would just kind of sit back and take it all in.
I know. But the thing that could happen with Belichick in one of these rounds, too, is you think it's going to be awesome and you let us soak it in, and then you get done with 18 holes and you go, damn, he only said 9 words in all 18 holes. I didn't learn anything. He didn't say or anything. I just said a bad word. There I went. I just said it. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. I can't believe it just came out of my mouth. Okay,
yeah,
let's move on.
I can't either.
Okay, here we go. My next pick, okay, and this is like an odd one. All right, I am an idiot.
Let me apologize on behalf of our friends at Sky Sports, that the folks in the UK and in Ireland have. You may just want to leave that message at the bottom of the screen up all the time.
I need to get out of my house. I need to get back in the studio in a professional environment. That's what I need to do. I really do.
Well, you may get a chance to when you have to go get a job at a real place of business.
I might. You're right. I might be fired there. So, all right, here's my next one. Just because I would love to see this guy try to hold the golf club would be Chuck Bednarik. All right, Chuck Bednarik. All right, with all his fingers that go all the different ways and everything like that. I mean, I don't know how he would do it. Either way, I would love to hear old football stories about him tackling Jim Brown and whatever, and all those other Frank Gifford stories, all of that. But I don't know. Just when it came to my mind of the great personalities, he's got a great personality, let alone he's got some really messed up fingers that go in all different directions.
There are plenty of guys, though, that would fall into that category, from Torrey Holt to who's the guy on NFL Network? Who's the guy on NFL Network with the finger the one that
William
points straight
McGinnis?
down?
Is that William McGinnis?
No, the analyst, the guy who played years ago. I can't remember his name. Brian something, I don't know.
Oh, Brian Baldinger. Brian Baldinger.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, he's got one that goes straight south. Jim Harbaugh's fingers are all over the place. I don't know how these guys hold a golf club, the ones that have had the capsules broken inside their knuckles. And seriously. I don't know, is there no way to get those repaired, or is it just like a badge of honor? That like you like to freak people out with your fingers that go in 50 different directions. I don't get it, but if that was me, I would get them fixed.
I think it's more like trouble to get it fixed and everything than you realize. And I think people they let it be because I don't think it's a guarantee you're going to feel like a spring chicken if you do fix them. I know there's a lot of people that have had issues after they fix it. And that's why they just say, I'd rather let it be.
I'm not going to show you my middle finger per se, but my middle finger, see my middle finger on my left hand?
See that.
It's got a little of that. That is from playing basketball and stoving it against the ball. You know, you reach your hand out and it hits your finger and having it swell up about 50 times. That's the end result. That's not from – so you can imagine if you get that jacked up finger just playing pickup basketball, how bad your fingers can get screwed up playing a real sport like football and getting your fingers twisted around all the time. All right, next up for me – I got some other good ones. I'm gonna sandbag you on one of them though. I'll go Tony Romo. He's the best golfer that the NFL's ever produced. He's not that far away from being good enough to be on the PGA Tour. So you know my job's a hell of a lot easier as a caddy. If the guy's a great golfer, you can't blame it on me. He's gonna be great. I'm just gonna stand back and let him do his thing. And he seems like a funny guy, and have some wise cracks and hang out and have a good time with Tony Romo, but you want to be with the winner. He's going to be the winner. So I want to carry the bag of the winner. How hard is that?
I hear you. I love being with Tony Romo. I got a chance to walk around with him last year at Lake Tahoe for 2 holes on the golf course. He's just got a great way about him. He loves football, so he's definitely willing to go into all of those conversations. And yes, he's a natural hitting the golf ball. Just like the next guy that I'm about to talk. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you know why I'm going with, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, right. Because I'm going to be fanboy. I'm going to be Here, Mr. Rodgers, you want a towel? Here, Mr. Rodgers, would you like me to clean your golf ball? Here, Mr. Rodgers, would you like another drink? Here, Mr. Rodgers, you want to chug a beer with me? I can beat you in that. I might not be able to beat you in the golf competition. But, I mean, come on. It is my favorite player. And Rodgers can really hit the golf ball. I mean, he really can. Every bit as impressive as Tony Romo when I was sitting there watching him in person. Had a birdie and then an eagle in the 2 holes I walked with Aaron Rodgers. But yes, Rodgers, the thing I really respect about him, he's very honest and real. He's going to keep it that way. He's deep thoughts. I mean, you can get into a lot of deep conversations with him. As we've seen, there's been some very sensitive subjects, that have gone on in the world and in the NFL the last few years. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't been bashful about talking about it. So that's my kind of guy, and that's why I'll go with A-Rod.
All right, that one's good, and that's not a surprise. I'm surprised it wasn't your first pick. I really could have screwed you up if I had made it my first-round pick. That would have hurt you because you've been squatting on Aaron Rodgers. Here's one I've squatted on the whole draft. I would want to hold the bag, carry the bag, and be around Chad Johnson / Chad Ochocinco for 2 very important reasons. Number one, he's going to have plenty of great cigars in his golf bag, which is good. I assume the caddy gets to partake. Number 2, he's one hell of a tipper. Isn't that what it's ultimately all about? He left a $1,000 tip recently at a restaurant. I figure if I do my job, if I smoke my cigar with him, if I don't turn green from it, and we have a good time, he'll give me a nice big tip when it's all said and done. So, mission accomplished. Make as much money as you can.
Always
and Chad
looking
Johnson's
for the money grab.
Yes. Why not?
And you definitely have some laughs. I mean, he is hilarious, and he's going to say and do some things that are going to make you cry. You'll laugh so hard. And, really, if you really wanted to have a great time with Chad Ochocinco, you bring along Terrell Owens along with them. Those two are like peas in a pod. They go at each other. I've spent some time with them on numerous occasions and had a blast with both of them. They're like 2 brothers who are always bickering, and I'm better, you're better, you stink at this. So that would be a lot of fun, though. Ochocinco is one of my favorite players that I've ever been around.
Who else was on your list, real quickly?
Oh, I went with Bill Walsh. I went with John Elway. I had Belichick. I had Bubba Smith. Remember old Bubba Smith, the actor from the Miller Lite commercials? And I just thought, man, I mean, it was part of my childhood, especially with him being a police academy. That'd be a guy I'd like to see hold a golf club and just have a talk with. That was about it. O.J. Simpson also made my list. There's a certain subject I'd like to pick his brain about for 18 holes.
Okay. Interesting choice there. I had John Randall on my list just because he would paint his face and he'd just be crazy and he'd be talking more trash than what we saw and heard on Sunday from Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Plus, he'd do all of his research. He'd do everything he could to get inside the head of the people he's competing against. I had Parcells on there. I'd want Parcells. I'd want to caddy for Parcells if you were caddying for Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, that would be really good. Again, my dad really rarely goes through a week without bringing out a Bill Parcells saying. He would have a lot of wisdom and things to talk about. He's a great storyteller, so that would be a good one for sure.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.